Hey friends, welcome to the Time for Living podcast, your ultimate guide to finding the time you need to crush your business dreams while still having time to live your one beautiful life. I'm your host, Lucy Clark, a devoted boy mum, dedicated business owner and time-finding expert. Say goodbye to the I'm too busy mindset that's holding you back from growing your online business. No more feeling overwhelmed or stuck in the same place year after year. Each week, we'll dive deep into strategies for being intentional with your precious time so you can hit those business goals while still making time for yourself and your family. If you're ready to create more time, get practical tips and prioritize the steps that will make the biggest impact on your business and life, then you're in the right spot. Pop in your earbuds, steal a quiet moment, and let's find time together. Hi friend, do you ever feel like you're working so hard, pouring every ounce of your energy into your job, your family, and maybe even that dream business of yours, yet somehow it doesn't still feel like enough? Like no matter how much you do, there's always more waiting for you on the never-ending to-do list. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault. I've shared this sentiment before with our Time for Living family, but for those of you just tuning in for the first time, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. But whether you're a seasoned listener or just joining us, I want you to know that you're part of a community that understands the struggle of juggling it all while striving for more and making sure we prioritize living intentionally, aligning our actions with our values, nurturing our families, and pursuing our passions with purpose. Today we're talking about something that so many of us fall into without even realizing it: toxic productivity. It's this sneaky mindset that tells us we always have to be doing more, working harder, achieving faster, and pushing ourselves to the brink, just to feel like we're worthy of success. For working professionals trying to build a business, this can be especially damaging. You're already juggling a full-time job, kids' schedules, and the pressures of running a household. Add the dream of starting or growing your business into the mix, and suddenly it feels like there's no room left for you. I know this because I've been there. As a time management mentor, I've worked with so many women who are high achievers, just like you, who are stuck in this cycle of overwork and overwhelm. For years, I thought if I just worked harder or stayed up later, I'd finally get ahead. But what I learned is that toxic productivity doesn't lead to success. It leads to burnout. And that's not what we're here for. In today's episode, we're going to uncover what toxic productivity really is, how it might be holding you back from the life and business you want, and more importantly, 3 really simple steps you can take today to reclaim your time and energy. Let's get started. So let's talk about toxic productivity. I love how Isra Nazir talks about toxic productivity. She describes it as the relentless drive to be productive at all costs, where your worth feels tied to how much you accomplish. It's not just about working hard, it's about working so hard that you lose sight of why you're doing it in the first place. Sound familiar? For high-achieving moms, toxic productivity often sneaks in disguised as ambition. You're driven, you have big goals, and you want to build something meaningful, whether it's a thriving business or a better future for your family. But here's the catch. When that drive turns into an obsession with doing more, being more, achieving more, it stops serving you and starts controlling you. Instead of feeling fulfilled by your efforts, you feel drained. Instead of celebrating your progress, you focus on what's still left undone. I see this all the time with the women I work with, and honestly, I've been there myself. I remember one client who was juggling a full-time job, raising 2 kids under 10, and trying to launch her online business on the side. She told me she'd stay up until midnight working on her website, then wake up at 5 a.m. to answer emails before her kids got up for school. She thought if she just pushed harder for a few more months, she'd finally arrive. But instead of making progress, she was just treading water. She wasn't seeing the results she wanted because she was just too exhausted to focus on what really mattered in her business. And here's the thing. Toxic productivity tricks us into thinking we're being productive when we're actually just spinning our wheels. It gives us this sense of accomplishment because we're busy all the time, but busy doesn't always mean effective. It can keep us stuck in this cycle of burnout where we're overworking ourselves without ever really moving forward. The good news, You can break free from the cycle. You don't have to sacrifice your sanity or your health to build a successful business. In fact, letting go of toxic productivities is one of the most powerful things you can do, not just for your business, but for your life as a whole. Let's talk about why it's holding you back and how we can start shifting out of it today. Here's the hard truth about toxic productivity. It doesn't just leave you feeling exhausted, it actively holds you back from the life and business you're trying so hard to create. I know that sounds counterintuitive. After all, isn't working harder supposed to get us closer to our goals? But the reality is, this constant push to do more, to always be on, is the very thing keeping you stuck. Let's talk about time freedom for a second. That's the dream, right? To have control over your schedule, to build a business that allows you to spend more time with your family, pursue your passions, and enjoy your life. But toxic productivity keeps you chained to this idea that you have to hustle 24/7 to earn that freedom. It tells you that if you're not working every possible moment, you're falling behind. And so, instead of creating time freedom, you end up creating a life where there's no room to breathe. This mindset doesn't just drain your energy, it stifles your creativity and slows your business growth. When you're constantly in go mode, there's no space for the big picture thinking or innovation. You're so busy checking off tasks that you don't have time to ask yourself, are these the right tasks? Are these things actually moving me closer to my goals? Toxic productivity tricks us into confusing busyness with progress, but they're not the same thing. And let's not forget the personal toll it takes. When every waking moment is filled with work, whether it's your job, your family, or your business, there's no time left for you. No time to rest, recharge, or enjoy the little moments that make life meaningful. And here's the kicker. When you're running on empty, it shows up everywhere. In your relationships, in how you show up for your kids, and yes, in your business too. The good news is there's a better way. Working smarter, not harder. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It really is a mindset shift that can change everything. And when truly understood, it's about focusing on what truly matters. The high-impact tasks that move the needle. And then letting go of the rest. It's about giving yourself permission to rest without guilt, because rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And most importantly, it's about realizing that your worth isn't tied to how much you do, but to who you are and how intentionally you show up in your life and business. So let's talk about how we can start making those shifts today. You know, I love anything practical, so let's get practical. We've talked about what toxic productivity is and why it's holding you back, but now it's time to shift gears and focus on how you can break free from it. The good news, you don't need a complete life overhaul to start seeing changes. Sometimes small, intentional steps can make the biggest difference. So here are 3 quick wins you can implement today to start overcoming toxic productivity. Firstly, set boundaries and stick to them. One of the most powerful things you can do is to define your enough point for each day. What does enough look like for your work, your business, and even your personal life? Maybe it's finishing 3 key tasks or spending an hour on your side hustle after work. Setting clear boundaries helps you avoid the trap of always feeling like you should be doing more. When you know what enough is, you can end your day feeling accomplished instead of drained. Second, focus on high-impact tasks. Not all tasks are created equal. And if everything feels urgent, nothing truly is. This is a classic symptom of toxic productivity, the constant pressure to do it all. To combat this, I recommend using a tried and true tool, the Eisenhower matrix. While it might seem old school in a world obsessed with finding the next big solution, its simplicity is what makes it so effective. The Eisenhower matrix helps you sort your tasks into 4 categories: urgent and important, important but not urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. By categorizing your tasks this way, you can clearly see where your energy should go. Focus on what truly moves the needle in your business and life, those tasks that are both important and impactful, and let go of the busy work that doesn't matter in the long run. Finally, and this is a big one, schedule downtime without guilt. I know it might feel counterproductive when you're working hard to build something amazing, but rest is where creativity thrives. It's in those quiet moments, a walk outside, reading a book, or simply savoring a peaceful cup of coffee that your best ideas and renewed energy emerge. Rest isn't about stepping away from your goals, it's about fueling the journey. Here's the truth. We can't always be chasing the next milestone. To truly thrive, we need to savor the process along the way. Rest isn't lazy, it's essential. It allows you to show up as your best self for your business, your family, and most importantly, for you. Remember this. You're not lazy for resting, you're strategic. The most successful people understand that working smarter, not harder, is the secret to sustainable success. So let's start making those shifts today. Reclaim your time, protect your energy, and build the life and business you've been dreaming of. You've got this. So let's quickly recap what we've covered today. Toxic productivity is that sneaky mindset that keeps you stuck in a cycle of overwork and burnout, convincing you that your worth is tied to how much you accomplish. But here's the truth. It's holding you back from the time freedom, creativity, and fulfillment you're working so hard to achieve. The good news, you can break free by setting boundaries, focusing on high-impact tasks, and giving yourself permission to rest without guilt. These small but powerful shifts will help you reclaim your time and energy so you can show up fully for your business and your life. If today's episode resonated with you, I've got something special to help take you to the next step. Download my free guide, the Taking Control of Your Time workbook, where I'll walk you through a time audit of your current time usage and actionable strategies to create more time in your day while building a business that aligns with your life. Head over to timeforliving.co/taking control to grab your copy and start finding time today. And don't forget to tune in next week. We're talking about identifying the invisible habits that steal your time. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for spending this time with me today. Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in to the Time for Living podcast today. If this episode inspired you to take action and save time, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a written review and subscribe over on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach even more amazing people like you. If you know a friend who needs to hear this message, share this episode with them. And remember, your time is precious, so make every moment count. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep living, and keep making time for what matters most.